Observatory, NITA. Dome of glass and steel crowns the lonely ridge outside Albuquerque. Inside, machinery hums like distant thunder. 1,000 monitors glow pale blue. Dr. Henry Frankenstein, 38, sharp-eyed and hollow-cheeked, stands at the main console. The light from the screens carves deep shadows under his eyes. Henry, they say when you stare long enough into the dark, it begins to stare back. For 20 years, I've been staring, waiting for it to blink. He adjusts dials, filters the static. A faint rhythmic pulse emerges, and 3 tones, pause, 3 tones again. He freezes. Henry, come on. Don't vanish now, the pulse repeats. Henry records the data, breathes out hard. A man caught between awe and fear. Henry, I should have called it in. Waited for verification. But that night wasn't about protocol. It was about faith, and what faith costs. He hits transmit, lock signal X to observatory rooftop. Continuous, Henry steps outside. The desert air is cold. His breath fogs in the starlight. He looks up. Above him, the Milky Way sprawls like a river of dust and memory. Henry, somewhere out there, a voice had just whispered back. He closes his eyes. For a heartbeat, we glimpse what he sees. His late wife, Elena, laughing beneath the same sky. Henry, she used to say the universe was a conversation we'd forgotten how to hear. I promised her I'd listen. Henry's home. Later that night, a small, cluttered house filled with star maps and half-packed boxes. On the kitchen table, an old photo. Henry and Elena in front of a research module, smiling through dust and sunlight. Henry pours black coffee into a cracked mug. The news murmurs on the TV. Talk of funding cuts, climate shifts, another failed Mars relay. He mutes it. Henry, the world had stopped believing in the stars. We were too busy surviving daylight. He opens his notebook, pages of equations, sketches of waveforms. The new signal pattern glows on his tablet beside it. Precise. Deliberate. He traces the coordinates. Global Research Council. Dire polished conference room. Screens show the same signal data. Henry stands before a row of officials and scientists. Director Vaughn, 60s, all bureaucracy and sharp suits, leans back. Vaughn, you're telling us a planet sent you a message. Henry, I'm telling you, it came from behind Neptune, sir. A gravitational echo near a dark body we've logged, as Erebus 9, murmurs Vorneven. If that's true, there's no funding for deep outer missions. The Mars colonies are bleeding us dry. Henry, then I'll go with what's left. Probe, a shuttle, anything that gets me there. Vaughn, Dr. Frankenstein. Humanity can't chase every ghost. Henry, maybe. But this one's calling our name. Henry's garage, night tools, blueprints, and a small spacecraft simulator. Henry works alone under harsh white lights. He replays Elena's last video message on an old tablet, her face flickering through static. Elena, recorded. If you ever find what's out there, promise me you'll still come home. He pauses the screen on her smile. Henry Vio, I kept that promise once. I won't again. He types a sequence into his terminal, a covert flight plan embedding Erebus 9's coordinates into the upcoming supply mission schedule. Spaceport. Dawn engines ignite on the horizon. The sky turns white with light. Henry, suited and calm, boards the shuttle Astreus alongside 4 crewmates. Commander Reza, pragmatic, steady. Nova, Lee, pilot. Mid-30s, sarcastic Dr. Kent. Astrophysicist, younger, idealistic. Tech officer Alonso. Quiet, faithful. Reza, Henry, your payload file looked heavier than expected. Should I be worried? Henry, only if you don't like surprises. Nova, great. Another genius with secrets. They laugh lightly, unaware it will be their last. Earth orbit. Hours later, the Astreus slips through the atmosphere, the planet shrinking below. Henry, every launch feels like confession. The Earth falls away, and you realize how small your sins look from above. Ship, en route to outer system, weeks pass. The crew drifts between duty and silence. Henry spends nights alone at the observation deck, scanning for the signal. Can't you ever sleep? Henry, only when the universe does. The younger man smiles, shakes his head. Kent, maybe it's not calling anyone. Maybe it's just an echo. Henry, every echo starts with a voice. Communication Bay, day 38 days later. Alarms chirp softly. The signal reappears, stronger, sharper. Henry isolates it. The waveform morphs into geometric pulses, coordinates shifting in real time. Nova, what the hell is that? Henry, a correction. It's moving. The numbers align with their trajectory as if guiding them closer. Reza Henry, tell me that's coincidence. He can't. Space. Approach to Erebus 9A, black sphere, draped in faint auroras. Its surface absorbs light. Even stars dim around it. Henry, the planet shouldn't have been there. It wasn't on any map we trusted. It was... Hiding bridge. Continuous res will do a flyby, no landing. Copy? Henry hesitates, eyes fixed on the signal display, now a steady heartbeat. Henry, copy. But his hands enter new coordinates. Space, minutes later. The Astreus tilts off course. Engines flaring. Inside, alarm scream, Reza Frankenstein. What did you... A gravitational surge hits. The ship trembles, windows fracturing. Nova stabilizers offline. Henry, we're being pulled in. They fight controls, but the ship spins toward the dark atmosphere. Henry, in that instant I understood. The signal wasn't just a message. It was a hand. Reaching for us, the hull tears. White light floods everything. Fade to black silence. Unknown place. Later darkness gives way to violet haze. Henry's helmet display flickers, oxygen low. He stirs, gasps. Gravity exists. Gentle, rhythmic, as though the ground itself breathes. The others, gone. Only scorched fragments of metal half submerged in silver liquid. Henry, I should have died with them. But something wanted me alive. He struggles to his feet. The landscape stretches endless, crystalline plains reflecting a dim sun. A shape glides beneath the surface, vast and fluid. It vanishes before he can focus. Henry, hello? His voice echoes strangely, as if the air itself remembers words. Henry, that was the moment the story stopped belonging to me. He looks up. Strange constellations swirl like living eyes. Henry. Came here chasing proof of life. I didn't know it would find me first. Friedman Observatory, Nighter. Cold wind sweeps over the hilltop. The sky above the observatory dome blazes with stars. Sharp, distant, endless. Inside, Dr. Henry Frankenstein, late 30s, stands before an array of monitors. His face glows blue with data stream reflections. His once bright eyes now carry the haunted focus of a man who hasn't slept in days. Henry, when you stare at the sky long enough, it starts to stare back. They warned me obsession would drive me mad. They didn't tell me what happens when obsession answers. Observatory, main control room, night. The hum of machines fills the silence. Graphs, spectrograms, and cosmic noise patterns scroll across multiple screens. Henry adjusts a dial. The static narrows into a repeating rhythm. A faint pattern emerges, like a heartbeat buried in static. Henry, no. That's impossible. He replays the signal. The rhythm repeats. 4 beats. Pause. 2 beats. Pause. Deliberate. Intelligent. Henry. Into recorder. Signal origin. RA18H deck minus 27 degrees. Same sector as Gliese 581 point, amplitude stable. Pattern repeats every 11.2 seconds. This isn't random noise. He leans closer. Breath fogging the screen. The pattern suddenly distorts, then evolves. Now it's pulsing faster, like it knows he's watching. Henry, for years I searched for order in chaos, but that night, chaos called me by name. The sound intensifies, layers building into something melodic. He realizes it's forming tones. To a sequence of harmonics, Henry, to himself, it's trying to communicate. He opens a channel, typing fast, sending a binary response. Moments later, the machine replies with new frequencies, echoing his input, mimicking him. Henry's hands tremble. Henry, softly, "You hear me, don't you?" Observatory. Later that night, the lab is dim now, the signal looping like an alien lullaby. Henry stares at a holographic model, a 3-dimensional waveform glowing in the dark. It twists and folds on itself, like it's alive. Suddenly, the lights flicker. The waveform stretches, forms an outline, a figure suspended in static. A shimmer of something alive flickers across the glass. Henry's breath catches. Henry. For one heartbeat, I thought I saw her. Not a creature. Not a monster. A presence, watching me from the other side of the stars. Then silence. The waveform collapses, the signal dies. Henry stands motionless in the dark. Henry, whispering, "Don't go." Friedman Observatory. Office morning. Newspapers litter the table. Headlines: NASA denies extraterrestrial signal rumors. Frankenstein's madness returns. Henry stares blankly out the window, a coffee cup untouched beside him. Julia Kent, 30s astrophysicist and his former colleague, steps inside. She looks exhausted but kind, the only one who still visits. Julia, you haven't been home in a week. You need rest. You need rest. Henry, rest won't bring it back. Julia, bring what back? Henry turns to face her. His eyes burn with quiet conviction. Henry, the signal. It stopped responding. But I know it's still out there. It wasn't random. Julia, it knew me. Julia, you're chasing ghosts again, please. Don't lose yourself like last time. She sets down a small photograph, Henry and a woman smiling beneath a rocket monument. Julia, softly. She wouldn't want this to destroy you. Henry's face hardens, but his voice cracks slightly. Henry, you think I don't know that? I hear her every night, in the silence after the stars fade. That's why I have to find it if there's something beyond this. I'll bring it home. Launch facility. Dusk weeks later. An experimental spacecraft gleams beneath the red sunset. Engineers swarm around it like bees. Henry walks toward it, wearing a sleek black exosuit, his name emblazoned, Dr. H. Frankenstein, Commander. Henry, when the world stops believing, the sky still listens, and sometimes, if you listen long enough, it answers in ways that break you. Mission control. Night countdown clock ticking. Monitors show the launch vehicle, the Prometheus 4, primed and ready. Julia, over headset. Prometheus 4, systems check complete. Guidance green. Henry, are you absolutely sure about this? There's no return trajectory if something goes wrong. Henry, over comms. If I find what's waiting out there, it'll be worth it. Julia, you always say that. She closes her eyes as the engines ignite. Launch pad. Night. The rocket rises into the sky, a spear of fire piercing the clouds. Thunder rolls across the valley. Inside the cockpit, Henry grips the controls. The stars shimmer ahead. Henry, every ascent feels like resurrection. Every mission feels like confession. The stars grow brighter, then distort. The same pulse pattern flickers across his navigation screen. 4 beats, pause, 2 beats, pause. Henry's eyes widen. Henry, no. Not now. Suddenly the ship lurches. Lights flash red. The signal amplifies. Deafening system warning, gravitational anomaly detected. Recalibrating trajectory. The craft shudders violently, pulled off course by a ripple of distorted space. Henry, shouting, Prometheus 4 to control. Something's locking onto the drive core. Julia, radio breaking up. Henry, signal interference, abort. The stars stretch into lines. Space itself bends. Henry's voice breaks through static. Henry, if you can hear me, tell them. It's beautiful. The ship vanishes into the distortion. Unknown space. Time, unknown silence. The wreckage of Prometheus the 4th drifts in a sea of light. Not blackness, but an oceanic glow. Nebulous currents swirl like liquid crystal. Inside the cockpit, Henry floats unconscious, blood trickling from a gash on his forehead. Henry falling feels like flying, until you remember gravity always wins. But where I fell, there was no gravity, no sky, no time. Only the pulse, waiting. A faint glow gathers around the wreckage. A shape moves in the mist, fluid, luminous, almost human. It touches the broken glass. Henry stirs. Opens his eyes. Through the blur he sees her, a silhouette of light and motion, eyes like galaxies reflected on water. He can't breathe or replace his fear. Henry. In that moment, I knew the signal hadn't been calling to Earth. It had been calling to me. The shape dissolves into light, enters the ship. The monitors flare to life again, showing the signal pattern. Henry, whispering, "You found me." Fade to black. Henry, they say you can't dream in deep space. Maybe that's because out here you don't sleep. You surrender. Henry drifts to consciousness inside the fractured cockpit. His breath fogs against the cracked visor. His suit alarms blink weakly, oxygen low. Outside, the water moves with its own pulse, rhythmic, familiar. He forces open the hatch. A flood of liquid light pours in, weightless, warm, like stepping into thought itself. Henry crawls onto a glass-smooth shore. The sand beneath him shifts between solid and fluid. Every grain hums faintly, resonating with that same signal pattern. He removes his helmet, gasping. The air smells of salt and static. Henry, not air, not water. Something between, a world breathing in slow motion. In the distance, crystalline spires rise from the ocean, arching like coral cathedrals. The horizon flickers, alive with light forms gliding beneath the waves. Henry's suit radar blinks, movement detected. He steps closer to the water. Ripples converge around his boots. Then silence. A shape emerges from beneath, luminous, graceful, neither solid nor liquid. It ascends, forming the silhouette of a woman-shaped being, translucent skin woven from energy and tides. Her eyes, deep spiraling constellations, lock onto his. Henry, you're real. No words, only a gentle vibration through the air, like music through bone. Henry, no sound, yet I understood her. Every motion she made felt like language, emotion wrapped in light. The being tilts her head, curious. She touches the edge of his ruined helmet. Where her fingers meet metal, it repairs. Molten silver knitting shut. Henry stares in wonder. Henry, softly. You fixed it. Thank you. Her body flickers in response, as if echoing gratitude. A soft harmonic tone fills the air. Henry has set up a small survival pod near the wreck. The being hovers nearby, watching as he tries to record notes. Planet surface stable, atmosphere breathable, somehow. Intelligent life confirmed, female in form, though non-corporeal. She responds to emotion, not language. He glances at her. She mimics his hand gesture, clumsy, childlike, endearing. Henry smiles. You're learning. He points to himself. Henry. She mirrors the motion, the name forming as a melodic hum. Henry, when she said my name, the planet itself seemed to answer. He points at her, questioning. Henry, what do I call you? She hesitates, then touches his chest lightly. A pattern of light blooms over his heart, a spiral resembling the original signal waveform. Henry, whispering, That's your name, a melody. He nods slowly. Henry smiles. Then, melody it is. Henry exploring alien ruins, half submerged in the ocean. Melody gliding beside him, illuminating ancient carvings that echo human DNA. Nights where they sit beside bioluminescent waves, sharing silence and gestures instead of words. Henry laughing for the first time in years, her lights flickering in sync with his heartbeat. Henry, she taught me how to listen, not with ears, but with presence. And I taught her names, the weight of words. Together we built something neither of our worlds had known. Understanding, a storm brews, plasma lightning splitting the twin moons. Henry and Melody take shelter under a crystalline arch. Henry's, This your world, are there others like you? She looks away as the glow in her chest dims. Then she projects an image into the rain. A vast ocean filled with her kind, all vanishing one by one into light. Henry, softly. You're the last. Her gaze meets his, an ache beyond language. Henry in her sorrow, I saw my own reflection. Two survivors, each haunted by extinction. The storm rages outside. Inside, the cave pulses with memory, holographic echoes of the planet's past. Henry watches as Melody shows him visions. Ancient cities rising from the sea. Beings of light communicating through resonance. A cosmic gate torn apart by gravity. The final signal sent toward Earth. Her call for help. Henry, whispering. You weren't summoning anyone. You were trying to survive. She reaches toward him, fingers brushing his cheek. He feels warmth, emotion, connection. Impossible, yet real. Henry love, I realized, doesn't always need flesh to be felt. Sometimes it's just the meeting of two broken frequencies. The storm has cleared. Henry stands on the shore, holding a recovered piece of the ship, a communication module. Henry, if. I can boost the core, maybe I can open a window, send a message back. Or maybe open one here. Melody hesitates. She touches the device. It glows. Her energy flows into it, harmonizing with the signal pattern. Henry, she trusted me. Even knowing what humanity had done to its own world, she still believed I might save hers. Henry builds. Wires, crystal shards, alien cores made a hybrid between Earth tech and living energy. Melody watches, weak from transferring energy. Henry almost there. Just hold on. She flickers, unstable. Her form trembles. Henry, frantic. No, stay with me. Please, Melody, barely audible hum. Henry, he freezes. It's the first time she's spoken a word. Henry, in that single sound, the universe fell silent. The device activates. A massive light column rises from the sea, connecting sky and horizon. The signal gate reborn. Waves swirl in concentric rings. Henry, we did it. But Melody collapses, her form scattering into the air. Henry, horrified. No, not now. He rushes to her, but his touch passes through light. Melody, faintly, return. Home. Henry, tears streaming. Not without you. Henry had crossed galaxies to find her. Now the same signal that brought us together was tearing us apart. She lifts her hand, places it over his heart. The spiral of light reappears, brighter than ever. Melody, whispering, you are the bridge now. A surge of light engulfs them both. From orbit, a beam of radiant energy bursts from the planet, reaching toward the Milky Way. Inside it, Henry's body drifts, fused with Melody's essence, half human, half light. Two souls intertwined, ascending through the pulse of their creation. Henry, they called me a scientist, but I think I was just a man trying to prove love could outlive distance, even between worlds. A blinding brilliance. Fragments of stars drift around Henry, his body suspended in a stream of radiant energy. The light hums with 1,000 voices. Among them, one stands out, Melody. Henry light has weight, memory has gravity. And when the two collide, they form something like a soul. The voice whispers through the current, not in words, but in frequencies. Melody softly, Henry. Awaken. Henry opens his eyes. He's floating within a colossal chamber of liquid starlight, suspended between galaxies. Around him, ancient holograms rotate, constellations shifting into unfamiliar symbols. He looks down, his hand glows faintly, veins threaded with light, human, but not entirely. Henry, her touch changed me. Every atom hums with her rhythm. The same signal that once crossed the stars now beats beneath my skin. Earth. His wife's laughter. A warm sunrise, then but the crash, fire, silence. Henry, grief. Made me build machines to reach the stars. Love. Made me stay when the stars finally reached. Back. He hears a chorus, a harmonic tones echoing. From beyond the horizon, forms begin to rise. Other beings like Melody, faint, transparent, bound by fractured resonance. Henry, you're not gone. You're trapped. Melody, appearing beside him. Resonance. Broken worlds. Out of phased up bridge. Must align. She gestures toward the distant gate. The beam Henry activated earlier. Now flickering unstable between dimensions. Henry, realizing, the signal gate, it's collapsing. If it fails, your kind will fade completely. Melodionless, you remain human heart, anchor, 2 frequencies, 1 bridge. Henry hesitates. Her meaning is clear. To save her world, he must merge with it, permanently. The structure towers above them, a swirling vortex of data and light, pulsing with both human tech and alien resonance. Henry, determined, if I stay, Earth loses me. If I leave, this world dies. Melody choice defines creation. She touches his forehead. Memories flood him. Her past, her species fall. Her loneliness in the dark before his voice answered the signal. Henry, it wasn't discovery that made us meet. It was longing. 2 voids calling out to each other, and finding music in the noise. The gate stabilizes. Waves surge around them, luminous and alive. Henry's suit disintegrates into light. Henry, what happens if I stay? Melody smiles faintly. Then both worlds remember forever. He takes her hand, light meets flesh, their forms intertwine. dissolving into twin spirals of energy rising through the ocean. Henry, maybe love isn't meant to be understood. Maybe it's meant to transform, to pull us beyond ourselves. The beam stabilizes, connecting the alien world and the distant Earth orbit. On Earth, the Friedman Observatory instruments reactivate, displaying the same pulse Henry once heard. Julia stands in shock, tears welling as she sees a visual on screen, Henry's image. Faint smiling within the waveform, Julia whispering, "Henry?" Henry, through transmission. "Tell them what we were never alone." The signal radiates outward, across satellites, oceans, and mines. Humanity listens, united in awe, no longer afraid. The twin suns rise. The once empty ocean now shimmers with countless light forms. Melody's people reborn through resonance. Among them, one brighter than the rest, the merged essence of Henry and Melody, watching from the horizon. "Henry, I thought I was escaping Earth, but I was only escaping myself. Now I see. Every ending is a translation, not an erasure. Every heart a signal waiting to be heard.